Hi.
Hi.
Welcome to So You Think You're Iconic, the movie podcast, where me and Kelly just can't get jobs. It's
Yeah,
it's hard out here for a pimp.
it really is though. We out here working double time and not even getting paid that well for it.
I mean, I am. She's not, but you know,
Yeah, you're
my
right.
my
I'm not even
my
gonna fight that.
my temporary jobs pay me well. I don't know about her.
Yeah, you're right. And you actually work during the week. I only work like 4 days a week.
Yeah, but it's all fine because next week we have our trip.
Woohoo!
Yay!
I'm so excited. I'm
Oh
so
my gosh,
excited.
I've started doing stuff, so like I'm ready. Like I've
Really?
I've been outside, so like I just want more.
I've been the last time I was down in LA, it was February. And the
Oh,
only place I went to was the beach,
I mean,
other than
in
the hotel room.
February you couldn't have done anything.
True. True.
Oh,
But
we're gonna be out though.
but just the thought of being somewhere very far away from my hometown. So freaking excited.
Oh yeah, love it. With that being said, how was your week?
It was okay. So I started my job last week. I'm still learning how things go. So far it's pretty straightforward, and since this is like a part-time temporary job, like whenever there's downtime for me to learn something, my boss is kind of like, I don't know what to teach you because I don't know how long you'll be here.
Oh wow, okay.
Like, I mean, I'm
Shouldn't
still looking
should,
for a job, but
shouldn't that mean you teach me everything just in case?
exactly. Like every time he says that, I'm like, you should just teach me because like you said you needed help around here and I might as well be helpful other than like the very little things that I'm doing because they're easy to learn right now. So like half the time I'm either sitting there because I've gotten like all of the work that I needed to do done very quickly because it's like no brainer kind of stuff,
Hmm.
or he's showing me how to do stuff or talking about like astrological things which I don't understand.
Just
So
smile and
honest
nod.
honestly though, he's all like, yeah, oh my gosh, this isn't working, Mars must be in retrograde, and I'm like, oh honey, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
sure is.
Totally vibing with that right now, whatever that means.
Google's what is retrograde.
Right, like he told me what my rising sun or whatever and my moon was, and I'm like, hey man, don't know what any of
Hey,
that means.
yep.
But yeah, that's his vibe and I'll let him vibe with it, but like sometimes it's just like I don't even know what the heck I'm doing. Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, we'll see how this week goes, but
I mean, my job is boring too. Like I watched Grey's Anatomy today. Like that's all I did, pretty much.
that's true. But you're getting paid a lot better than I am
Oh
to
yeah,
sit
much
around and
better,
watch Grey's Anatomy.
much better pay.
Yeah. So how was your week?
It was okay. Let's
Okay.
start with the beginning of this week. It was hot as
Uh-oh.
hell.
Oh,
Hot
absolutely.
as hell. What
Yeah.
was it? Thursday? It was 109 degrees where I work. I went outside to get lunch and the heat
Yeah.
smacked me in the face.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
do
It
that in
was
Northern California. We don't do heat like that.
no, we really don't.
Literally
Espe-
85 for me is pushing it.
oh,
Like
same.
85, I'm sweating.
Honestly, like once it gets over 75, I'm a little uncomfortable.
Uh huh.
I'm gonna just say that right now. But the minute it hits 85 and above, I'm like, I am
Yeah,
absolutely dying.
85 is my limit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because like I think my average temperature where I live is like 65 to 70.
Yeah. Like it's a little higher for me, but it's not, like
Yeah, we don't
Fresno
yeah, we don't do
kind
heat.
of weather. No,
Nope.
we don't.
Our My house doesn't even have air conditioning. That's how like we don't have heat.
Yeah. 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 Like I have AC.
Well,
And I
yeah,
got
where
like
you
I
live.
got a I got
Yeah.
a new yeah, and I got a new fan like a couple weeks ago because mine was just dying. But even then, my mom is very like, don't turn on the AC unless somebody is dying of heat stroke. So like we have to close up the house. All the blinds are closed so no
Yep.
sun comes in.
If it's hot out, like it's dark in my house.
Yeah, that's the only way you survive. And then like I have like an ice pack, and I'm just strapped to the back of my, because I'm just gonna sweat the whole day if I don't.
My mom bought these. They're little portable air conditioners. You throw some ice in there, some
Yeah,
water. Yep.
yeah. Those are super popular and they work so well.
Yes. It's the only reason I didn't die.
Honestly, though.
And
Yeah,
then
we're dying out here.
yeah. It's okay now, but like
It's okay now.
this weekend is gonna be hot again.
Yeah, it'll be like 102 down here, I think.
But it's fine. I'm going to the movies. I'm going
it'll
to the
be
movies.
it'll be air conditioned in there.
F9 is coming out, and I promised myself I was going, so I'm going.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then I requested Friday off because I wanted to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to Great America. It was fun. It was hot. It was hot.
Yeah, it was hot on Friday.
But it was fine. It was fine. Like, it was bearable.
Because you got to go out.
I did it somehow. Don't know how, but I did it. There was a nice breeze outside.
Your only saving grace was that breeze.
It wasn't that busy because most of the people went to the water park.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
And we just went to, like, ride the rides. For the most part, I didn't have my mask on, which felt weird, but I was fine. But then when we were getting lines with people, my mask was on. Yeah. Because we were getting a little too close to people. So I was like, mask up.
Absolutely. It's weird how, like, I've seen, like, where I am, a lot of people aren't, like, taking their masks off, and I'm just like...
Same. I went to the store yesterday, and almost everybody was wearing their masks. I was like, yay! Okay, right. But then back to Great America. I saw two people pass out from heat exhaustion.
Really?
Yes. I was the first girl. I was standing in line to get like water and like an icy because like it was hot. Yeah. And this girl was with her friends, and then she just fell on the floor. I was like, whoa.
Oh my gosh.
And then she got up. She was like, oh, I'm fine. And then fell again.
No way. Are you serious?
Yes, it was.
Oh, honey.
It was kind of funny.
Just admit defeat, girl. Just sit down on the floor for a second, okay?
Her friends got her up. They put her in the corner. The guys behind the counter got her some water. They called a medic. She was fine. And then the second woman, it was so hot. And like we tried to like go inside stores, but even in the stores they didn't have air conditioning. Ooh. And so I was like, let's go into this 3D movie. Mm-hmm. I was like, they have to have air conditioning up in there. Right. And so we're waiting in line for it. And then a woman in line passes out.
She had the same idea of you guys to get like out of this heat. When she's like, the body's like, nah, I'm not about it right
she
now.
Passed out, and like it was really bad for her because like a medic had to come, and they brought her like ice packs to, like put under her arms and stuff, and then like they like rolled her away in a wheelchair.
Ooh, she got it like, worse than the other girl.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's bad. But then we went inside that 3D movie. It was slightly air conditioned, like it wasn't as cold as I would like it to have been, but it was good.
Yeah. It was better than outside.
It was better than outside.
Yeah. That's all you could really hope for.
Yeah. And then Saturday was my cousin's wedding. It was outside and it was hot.
Ooh. See, this is why I don't enjoy outdoor weddings.
I was wearing a suit and it was hot. Yeah. I told my mom when we got there, we were sitting like in the spot where we were supposed to sit. It was shaded mostly, so it was fine. But I was like, if this wedding starts any more than 30 minutes late, I'm leaving. They started on time.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
Yeah. Let me tell you about this house though we went to. This
Okay.
house, Kelley. I should have took pictures.
Ooh.
Infinity pool.
Shut up.
3 stories. Like 11-car garage.
Oh my gosh.
A theater room on the like bottom level with a life-size Iron Man suit inside of there.
Someone's got
Oh, girl, I'm
money.
not even done. He had money. He had his own vineyard
Uh, uh,
and a
uh.
wine cellar full of wine. He didn't
Of
even
course.
he doesn't even sell that wine. He just gives it away to people.
That you have gross amount of money to do that.
Yes.
So he need a dog or something? I can bark.
He just he just got divorced. I was trying to get my mom to like get with him.
You know.
She wasn't going with what I wanted. Oh,
I mean,
also at this wedding, there was a
mm,
girl who showed up who, if I was the bride, I would have kicked her out. Literally, so to get down to where the wedding was, you had to go down like these like brick steps, and there was like 50 of them.
mm-hmm.
Picture this:
Okay.
a spray tan Model S girl with
Uh-huh.
gigantic boobs comes
Okay.
down the steps. Literally, my breath went like I went like. I texted you the second I saw
Yeah.
her. I
Yeah.
was like, whoa. And then she sat in like the third row, and I was like, girl, no, you were drawing too much attention.
Bruh.
But then, like, eventually, I was inside the wine cellar trying this guy's wine and hearing him talk
Uh-huh.
about it. And I was
Uh-huh.
standing right next to her, and I was like, now that I'm like really close to you, you look like really fake. Like, she had like lip injections.
Oh.
Like, you could tell that her skin was spray tanned. I was
Okay.
like, oh, never mind. Like, you look better from a distance.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of
Yeah,
those like art pieces. They look really good far away, then you get closer and you're like, what the hell is that?
yeah. And then I was like, I was also just like, you're wearing so much makeup.
Oh
I was like,
no.
wow. But yeah, she had the audacity to come looking that good to somebody's wedding. It was bad.
I bet you she was one of those invites like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen you in years, but like you should come to my wedding.
No, she was one of the groomsmen's dates.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking if they're gonna say that or she was someone's plus one.
Yeah, she was a plus
Because
one.
no way did the bride be like, yeah, I'm totally fine with
Yeah,
this.
you can come,
Right.
but it was fine. Um, the food was good. The like toast went on way too long.
Hmm.
But yeah, and then the party happened. Fine, lots of dancing. I drank a lot, but apparently not enough because I was not the drunkest person there. That
There's
award
always
go
that sloppiest person there at
that
a wedding.
award goes to my cousin's husband. Good for him.
Really?
Not anyone getting married. Like
Yeah, no, for
a
sure.
different cousin. Yeah.
Yeah.
But like literally I went up the stairs to go get some like cake
Uh-huh.
because like I get hungry when I drink.
Mm-hmm.
And and he like stopped me. And then like he was like slurring and I was like, "Oh, I thought I was
Oh.
drunk." I was like, "Oh." But yeah, it was fun. And then Sunday was Father's Day. And
Mm-hmm.
we just like grilled food and like sat in the house and talked. And that
That
was
sounds
it.
good.
And then my grandpa taught me how to play dominoes. I won one game.
Let's go.
Good for me. Love
Good
that
for
for
you.
me. Okay. Now that we're done with my extensive weekend, which I'm exhausted today.
I'm sure you
Exhausted.
are.
I'm so tired. You do you want to know my entire day for Saturday?
Yes.
Woke up at 7 a.m.
Oof.
8:30 went jogging with Leslie.
Oh
Went
yeah.
we went to Hippie's Brew for coffee. Went to my aunt's house to get ready for the wedding. Drove
Mm-hmm.
to the wedding. Had the wedding. Wedding did not end until midnight. Didn't get home until 1 something. Woke up the next morning at 9 a.m. to go hang out at my aunt's house for Father's Day. I'm
Oh my
tired.
gosh.
Woke up this
Yeah.
morning at 7. I'm tired.
Yeah. You deserved the slow day you had today.
Yes, I did.
You deserve that.
I did.
Okay.
Yes, let's get into this.
Army mateys. We are talking about Pirates of the Caribbean.
You can't
Dead
see, but I
Man's
rolled my
Chest.
eyes.
He's this is one more reason that like he will slowly be finding a new co-host because
Yeah. Oh, also, I don't know if you guys saw the Instagram post and the tweet I sent out, but last episode was our 50th episode.
yes,
And
yes.
we didn't remember that.
We did not.
Sorry.
Well, I thought it was this episode, but it's not.
No.
Somehow my numbering system got off, which I
Yeah.
probably have to change.
My numbering system has been off since the beginning, so it's not my fault. It's hers.
So happy past 50th episode.
Yeah. Yay!
Yay! Good for us. Why are y'all still here listening? I'm just kidding. Thank you.
Yeah, we're a mess. It's fine.
We really are. Okay, so we start off this movie, and it's raining on the day of Elizabeth and Will's wedding.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth is sitting in the middle of her empty venue in her dress, just totally getting rained on,
getting wet,
having her moment, while redcoats on boats. I don't know why that made me laugh. With the East India Trading Company drive onto the shores of Port Royal and infiltrate the town looking for Will Turner. We go back to Elizabeth, who only gets up when the redcoats bring a handcuffed Will to the venue.
Imagine it rains on your wedding day and your fiance gets arrested.
Right. And then you find out you were also getting arrested.
Yeah, if that's not a sign from God, I don't know what is.
Right. Like, this is me saying, do not marry this man.
Yeah.
Also, I found out a lot of people's like characters' names because of the notes that I had to take.
What?
So apparently her dad's name is Weatherby. Did you know that?
Did not know he had a name.
Yeah, me neither.
Everyone just calls him like constable or governor. Whatever. So
Governor Swan. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was just Governor Swan. Did not know he had a first name.
Yeah, his name was Weatherby, bro. So Weatherby Swan, Elizabeth's father, also joins the scene demanding what is going on. And we meet Lord Cutler Beckett, who is there on a mission with a warrant for Will, Elizabeth, and James Norrington's arrest under the charges of conspiring, English, I don't know, to set free a man convicted of crimes against the crown and empire and condemned to death, for which their punishment is also death.
He is so petty for arresting Elizabeth because she didn't do anything.
She really didn't.
She just got kidnapped. Like, she didn't do anything.
Yeah, like the most she did to aid in like Jack Sparrow's escape was to pretend to faint.
Yeah.
That's literally it. Like, at least Will was there, like, getting him out.
Yeah.
So I see why he's condemned.
Will's arrest was justified.
Yes, it was.
Was not.
It really wasn't. I think he was just being spiteful.
He was being spiteful.
Yeah. And honestly, why does this guy always play characters that are just greasy and hateful? Like,
it's because he's short.
He's got a short man's complex. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Dang.
Short men are biologically meaner. Everyone knows this.
For you short kings out there, I apologize.
I'm an average king, so yay.
Good for you. So the man in question that these charges are against for helping are Captain Jack Sparrow. We then jump to Mr. Gibbs drunkenly singing on the Black Pearl.
Okay, it's at this point of the movie where I was like, do pirates ever drink water?
Absolutely not.
I've never seen them drink water. Yeah, I know their livers and their kidneys are just screaming.
I mean, did they just drink water back then?
If it wasn't
like alcohol or like tea or I
Anytime
don't
we
know.
see any of the pirates drinking, it's rum.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen them put a drop of water in their mouth until what movie is that? The one where they go to get the Fountain of Youth. That's the only time I see a pirate drink any
The
water.
fourth one. The fourth
Yeah,
one, I think. Weird. Like, how did y'all live? Like, maybe
right.
that's why they died young.
This couple with scurvy, I don't know how they lived.
Bro. Bro. Bro,
Which,
and
by
all
the
that
way, eat an
and all
orange.
yeah, eat an orange.
Eat an orange
Eat
every once in a
eat
while.
yeah. Maybe just one fruit, maybe one
Yeah,
veg.
yeah,
One or the other,
yeah. Just
please.
sometimes.
So nearby, a bell tolls and we see inmates being taken into a prison. I'm assuming it looks like some like Lord of the Rings type beat going on.
Was it a prison? I don't know
People,
what was happening there, but all I know were birds were plucking out eyes and people were
mm-hmm.
in like swinging cages.
Yeah. I mean, they were in handcuffs, so I'm just assuming they were going to a prison or some type of torture hall.
Yeah,
I
probably
I don't
torture
know.
hall.
Probably. And on a shore nearby this prison, a group of men are throwing caskets into the sea.
Which made no sense to me. Wrote another note. What's with the caskets? Why don't they just throw them in the ocean? They're wasting wood.
Right. Like it's not like that during that time a lot of people were dying and they were like running out of real estate to bury people.
Yeah.
And like I feel like the only people that deserved a water death were people like pirates and stuff that were actually out at sea, where you died at sea.
All I know is if I was dead, don't waste a casket if you're just gonna throw me in the water.
Right.
Just throw me naked in the water, let the fish eat
Right.
me. It's
Right.
more earth friendly.
No packaging.
No
Just throw
packaging.
me in.
I'm pro earth. Any wood you have, just bury it so that it biodegrades.
Yeah.
Let's keep the world going.
Keep the world going. We see the caskets floating at sea when Jack Sparrow breaks out of one alive. He then rows his way with a dead man's leg to the Black Pearl that is not too far from him. It's probably a couple miles, but it doesn't look that far. Once on the ship, Mr. Gibbs asks if Jack got what he was searching for, and he shows him a piece of cloth. Gibbs says that him and the crew want to be shown what it is since they went through a bunch of trouble looking for it and that it better be worth it. Jack shows the crew that it is a drawing of a key, and the crew thinks that they have to find the key and then the chest that it opens. When the crew asks for a heading, Jack opens his compass to find that it is spinning in circles and makes up a direction, which makes Gibbs and Marty suspicious. Also, I didn't know that his name was Marty.
Who's Marty?
The
deaf one?
No, that's Cotton.
Or the mute one? Whatever.
That's Cotton. The bald guy.
The little man? Or
his name is Marty.
Did not know he had a name.
Me neither. See, I'm telling you, I'm learning everybody's names in this one. So back with Lord Beckett, Will is brought to his quarters and given a bargain. Act as an agent for the East India Trading Company to get Jack's compass in trade for a full pardon and employment with England. We then switch to Jack on the Black Pearl in his quarters, still trying to figure out his heading, but still doesn't get one. So he leaves in search of more rum that's at the bottom of the ship.
Yeah, the way Jack walks, like on the regular, is like how I walk when I'm drunk. Kelley will soon find this out. Can't walk straight. Also, is Beckett in love with Jack? Because back at that scene, he mentioned that they both left marks on each other. But we never know what mark he left on Jack. What?
It shows it in the scene that I'm talking about. So when Beckett is talking to Will, he holds up a branding iron and it has a P on it, but like the straight line of the P has kind of like an arrow looking thing at the bottom.
Yeah.
And in Jack Sparrow's, like the next scene where you see Jack Sparrow, on his wrist is the same thing.
Yeah, that's on Jack's arm. But what mark did Jack leave on him?
The same thing.
When?
So they both have the same one. So in the next movie, when they're like facing off of one another, that's when you see it.
I have to wait an entire movie before I find out that.
Yeah.
That's bad writing.
Well, technically, I didn't write this down, but it's a movie fact that this movie and the next movie were shot at the same time. So to them, it made sense, and to the writers, it made sense. But for us, not being able to see it back to back, it doesn't make sense.
Okay.
It made sense to somebody. So once Jack is at the bottom of the ship, he hears a voice and finds a man covered in sea life who he recognizes as Bootstrap Bill Turner.
Yeah, how he got on that ship, who knows?
Also, why is it Bootstrap? I don't think we're ever told that.
I know why. Yes, we
are.
You do?
Are we?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay.
It's because
what is it?
It's because they tied boots, or they tied what? Cannonballs or whatever they're called.
Oh.
To his bootstraps when they threw him into the ocean.
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. So Jack assumes that this is all a dream, but finds that it is not, and Bill is actually there on orders from Davy Jones. He apologizes for the mutiny he took part of against Jack and says he was going to die and took up a contract with Davy Jones to escape it. Jack judges him, but Bill says he has won with Davy Jones as well for bringing up the Black Pearl and for being a captain of it for the last 13 years.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Okay.
So let's start with Bootstrap. Let me just explain this a little more. So in the first movie, they stole gold from somewhere, don't remember. but it was cursed. And so whoever took it couldn't die. Yes. So when they put him at the bottom of the sea, he was just stuck there, like unable to die.
Yeah, basically.
And so somehow Davy Jones finds him. Yeah. And he's like, I'll cut you out if you stay with us. And he's like, I don't care. Let's go. So that's how that happened. And then so Davy Jones also must be very, very just bored, because he just gave Jack this ship. He just rose it from the depths of the ocean or whatever. It was like, here. And then Jack was dumb enough to take it for only 13 years. For his soul. He traded his soul for 13 years on a ship.
Yeah. I just want to know what part in his life he was in that seemed like the best deal he could accept. You know?
He must have been down very bad.
Honestly, though, because only your whole ass soul.
Yeah.
13 years.
For 13 years.
I feel like he's undervaluing himself. Maybe he had esteem issues. I don't know.
Had to have.
Had to have.
Because would you trade anything in your life for 13 years of success?
Absolutely not. Just 13?
Just 13? Yeah. I can't even get a good 20.
Right, exactly. Maybe round it out to 15. I don't know. Or can I give you an age number?
Yeah, when I turn 70.
Right. Then you can come at me, right? But no. We never said Jack was smart.
Oh, no, not at all. He's just lucky.
He really didn't. Yeah, he really is, though. So Bill says that it's time for Jack to pay up, and Davy Jones is setting his beast after him, who has the black mark, which Bill gives to him right before phasing out of the ship.
I really hope you have a movie fact about that black mark, because they did not explain it at all.
I know. Literally, they're just like it's a tracking device for the beast.
Yeah. And then everybody is just like black spot, and they're doing weird things and spitting, and I'm like, is that warding it off? What's happening?
I know.
Here?
There is some superstition about this, but we are never told what it is. So Jack freaks out and wakes up his crew in a hurry and gives the heading to find any land and go there. The monkey steals. Isn't the monkey's name Jack?
Yes. They name the monkey Jack, and then they constantly shoot it. Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I'm just gonna call him the monkey because I don't want the confusion. The monkey steals Jack's hat and throws it into the sea, which the crew freaks out at, but Jack tells them to leave it and runs away. When Gibbs asks what's going on and what's chasing them, he doesn't answer. Jack's hat then floats to a ship nearby, and the two men on board fish it out of the water. But when they hear something below them, they try to throw it back in the sea, but it's too late, and the ship gets folded by something into the sea.
Yeah, Davy Jones, like I said, must be bored. Like, there were two people on this ship. There was no reason for him to waste all of that time to take down this ship.
Also, like, if the black mark really did serve as a tracker, the Kraken would have known which ship to go for. You know what I mean?
Also, where was Davy Jones when, like, slaves were being transported on ships? Where was he with that? No wonder his ex cursed him.
Right.
She's like, I'm a black queen. I can't
stand for what you're doing.
Can't stand for this.
Mm-mm.
So now you can't walk on land.
Right.
And you look like an octopus.
No one will ever want to get with you.
No one will ever want you. Oh, all your homeboys, they're cursed too.
Yeah.
Why? Who knows?
Right.
I
just want all y'all to be ugly as hell.
Yeah, I'm mad.
I'm mad. I'm petty. I got the power to do it. Let's go. So, Will and Weatherby race to the jail to see Elizabeth. Will tells Elizabeth about the bargain Lord Becca gave them, but Weatherby is against it, asking if Jack would be willing to save them after Will and Elizabeth saved him. Because he's a pirate. You're not supposed to trust a pirate. Elizabeth ignores him and says that she believes in them both. Will says he's going to start looking for him in Tortuga and leaves Elizabeth in her cell. We then have a montage of multiple people giving Will different info on where Jack is, from being dead to living in Singapore, before following a lead that says someone saw a ship with black sails on an island nearby that has long pork. Or the long meat. He says they have long meat there. And I didn't put this in the movie facts, but long meat apparently is slang for human meat.
Ew. I mean, makes sense, but ew.
It makes sense, yeah. But yeah.
I just remember
so basically what they're saying is that they're
spices.
Cannibals.
I just remember him talking about spices.
No.
When it comes to cannibalism, don't use slang on me. Tell me flat out.
Yeah, right. If you're telling me to go somewhere and you use some kind of slang for human meat,
no.
Nah, man, absolutely not. So Will is then taken to the island where the Black Pearl is breached. When he gets to shore, he finds it empty, and he goes into the jungle and finds Cotton's bird, who says not to eat him. Going further in, he finds Gibbs' flask with a string tied to it. And when he follows it, gets stuck in a trap and surrounded by the locals who dart him.
Oh, quick question that I just thought about.
Yeah, what's up?
So if these locals on this deserted island are cannibals, does that mean they've been eating each other?
Oh.
Because, yeah.
Probably. Probably.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Imagine you have to decide which one of your neighbors to eat.
I feel like it's one of those, you're close to dying, you gotta go.
Oh, God.
Because, like, how else are you supposed to grow your village? You know what I mean? And keep, like, the population kind of steady if you don't eat the people who are going to die are elderly.
Well, I didn't see any old people there.
Why are we talking about the logistics of this right now? Anyway.
I'm curious.
So, Will wakes up and he is tied on a bamboo stalk and taken into the village. When he wakes up, he finds Jack acting as the village's chief. Jack talks to the villagers, or quote unquote talks. I don't know how he portrays his message.
I don't know how they understand.
Exactly.
He's just going like wiki wiki la 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 la,
Yeah.
and they just
Or
understand.
he'll say like sticky sticky. He'll add like an E at the end of the word.
Yeah.
Or like just big fire. Big.
And they just understand.
And they just understand. So Jack talks to the villagers while Will tries to convince him to let him go and give him his compass so that he can go and free Elizabeth, who faces the gallows. Jack stops in his tracks and gives the villagers more instructions before Will is taken away, and Jack whispers to him to save him. We then see Elizabeth, who is in her cell being called at by the men in the cell next to her. I just want to know how long has she been in that cell? Like, how long has Will been gone?
Seemingly all day. It doesn't seem like it seems like he's only been gone for like a day.
Yeah, but like I feel like with how ship travel was, I feel like he was gone for months. That's like
they just left her in her wedding dress for months in a cell.
Because you never know how long it takes to get from Port Royal to Tortuga, and then
you don't know how long it takes to get anywhere.
Exactly, but I'm assuming
seemingly takes like hours to get anywhere in the world. Yeah.
But I feel like if you went like historically on like how fast things went, it would take them months. I'm just saying, what if she was in there for months, just like, damn, what the heck?
And then her father finally comes to rescue her.
Exactly. So Elizabeth is then let out of her cell, and she is met with her father saying that he has gotten her a ship and safe passage to England by a friend of his and that she is leaving right now. Elizabeth tries to stop him, saying that she's waiting for Will, but her father tells her that there's only one pardon for Jack and that he won't watch his daughter be hung, and will try to get a fair trial for Will when he returns. Elizabeth says it will just end in a hanging, and her father sends her off saying that if that's true, she won't have anything to keep her in Port Royal.
True. Also, in like old England-y days, was that your only option if you were arrested? Like you were murdered? Like was that it? There was no like, you just have to stay in jail for 2 weeks or a month. It was just like, either you're innocent or we're gonna kill you. Was that it?
I feel like it must have been, right?
That sucks. Who wants to live in a world like that?
Right?
You have to be perfect, otherwise you die.
Exactly. Like, I don't, yeah.
It's giving me Giver.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is. Oh, jeez, yeah.
Everyone read that book. That was not a recommendation, but I'm gonna add it.
Yeah, but we're gonna add it anyway. So, when they get to the port, her father witnesses the captain of the ship that's supposed to take Elizabeth being murdered by Beckett's right-hand man. I don't know his name, so that's what we're going to call him.
Yeah, we never know his name.
Also, I want to know how long that guy was standing there for.
A good 5 minutes. Let's say a good 5 minutes.
I want to say like he got there.
He was just holding this dead body up.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes.
Yeah. Like I'm sure like what would have sucked if like he stabbed the guy and then he's trying to like struggle away for 3 minutes, just like slowly bleeding out.
Yeah.
And then he just passes out and the guy's still standing there like, damn, where's Weatherby though?
He's like,
I'm getting kind of tired.
He's like, this reveal will be iconic. I just need him to hurry up.
He's literally out here just for the drama of it.
He's like, I'm gonna change the game with this reveal.
He'll never see it coming. Thank God this guy's the exact height as me, so he hides my body. And when he goes toward the carriage, Weatherby tries to stop him, but when he opens it, it's empty. When he asks Weatherby where his daughter is, he plays dumb. We then see Beckett in his quarters and finds a box of his on his desk disturbed and calls out to whoever's in there, and it's Elizabeth. Elizabeth pulls out a gun.
How girl boss of her.
I know. What a queen.
She gets away and then immediately goes to the person who's trying to arrest her.
Exactly. Armed with a gun. Like, where'd she get that? Where did she get that? So Elizabeth pulls a gun on him and says that she is there to negotiate. She wants the pardon papers signed and sealed by him, and in turn tries to warn him about the curse on the Aztec gold. But Beckett says that that's not what he's going for. He tells her that he's looking for another chest that is much more important. He then signs and seals the pardon papers that she is going to use for Will, and she runs off with them. Pintel and Ragetti, who are the two guys from Barbossa's ship, that's their names,
the fat balding guy and the skinny guy without an eye, just to help you, because those names do not ring any bells in my mind, and I've seen these movies multiple times.
I know, I don't think I ever heard their names. Pintel is the shorter balding guy, and Ragetti is the guy with the fake eye.
Yeah,
just if you wanted the specifics. They're on a boat together in the middle of the ocean with the dog from the jail that holds the keys, arguing about how they escaped.
And fake reading the Bible.
Yeah, it's upside down, by the way.
he says, and I quote, "It's the Bible, you get credit for trying."
Ragetti says he wants to turn a new leaf after not being immortal anymore, because now he wants to focus on his mortal soul. But Pintel is still intent on stealing the Black Pearl, which they find on the island that Jack, Will, and the rest of the crew are on. The dog escapes the boat before they are able to reach the shore and swims, and the guys laugh at him before they capsize and are forced to the shore. Mm-hmm. They get to the Black Pearl, and when they hear the drumming nearby, hurry to get it into the ocean.
Yeah, these two people are going to drag this giant ship into the water.
Yeah, like I know that they said the tide was coming in, but the tide only does so much, and I don't think it comes in that fast.
Not or that far.
Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong, but it doesn't seem feasible for two people and a pirate ship.
Yeah, I have a maritime degree. Like, I know what I'm talking about. The tide does not go that far.
Yeah. So Jack is back in the village while the rest of the crew are stuck in circular cages hung off a cliff. Will is with the rest of the crew, and Mr. Gibbs updates him on what's going on. The Pelagostos, the people of the village nearby, made Jack their chief and believe him a god in human form. Mm-hmm. He is a captive. Man. Yeah, a white man.
A white man.
But he is a captive as much as they are, with the village getting ready to release the god from his human form, where they will roast and eat him.
Yum.
The rest of the crew were killed and their bones used to make the cages they are in now.
Gross.
So sad. Gibbs says Jack dies the second the drum stops, and Will gets a plan to get them out. Back in the village, Jack tries to delay his death and finds an opportunity to run away by telling them to build his fire bigger. He runs away but is stopped by a cliff. He goes to find supplies in a house nearby and finds that they have goods from the EI company, the Eastern.
They had paprika. How did these indigenous people have paprika?
Right, and how did they know how to use paprika?
Yeah.
They're cannibals that live on an island that no one wants to go to.
Yeah. Yet they have British paprika.
Right, and really nice tea sets.
Yeah. What's going on there?
Right, what is going on?
Everyone in England, check your meat. Check your meat.
Oh, no. That's gross. When Jack steps out of the hut he is in, he is surrounded by the villagers and taken back to be roasted over the fire. While this is happening, Will and the rest of the crew are using their weight to swing the ball back and forth, and when they finally grab some roots on the cliff nearby, start to climb up the mountain. Will encourages the men, saying that they need everyone to run the ship, but another member points out that in reality they only need 6.
Makes no sense. Makes no sense.
I don't know how you can
that ship is gigantic.
Right.
You'd need probably 6 people just to like set up the sails. I don't know in what world a ship needs only 6 people.
Right. Like
even in modern times.
And if you only needed 6, no one would be needing to go to Tortuga and being like, yeah, we need more people on our ship. Like if you only needed if you only needed 6, why do you have all these other people helping you? Like, someone's lying here.
He was lying.
Yeah. But knowing this, it spurs everyone on to climb as quick as they can. Will then spots a villager walking by on a bridge nearby and calls everyone to stop. But the crew in the other cage takes it as an opportunity to get ahead. One of the members grabs a snake instead of a root on the mountain and freaks out, which leads to them falling to their death.
It was a garden snake.
Was it?
Yes, he freaked out over a garden snake. I was like, you're a pirate. Why are you freaking out over a snake? Just drop it.
Just drop it. With the villager now alerted to them from the screaming, Will and the rest of the crew have to climb faster. The villager who spotted them trying to escape warns the others of it, and Jack sends them away. But the fire is lit under him when a villager drops the fire a little too close to the wood. Will and the others make it up the mountain while Jack bounces his way off the spit. Will and the others can't break the cage in time, so they roll their way down the mountain and have to carry the cage to continue running. Also, those villagers must run really fast because they really rolled down that mountain real quick.
Really
and then
fast.
They immediately had to pick it up and run because they were right behind them.
I mean, I guess when you live there, you're used to the terrain.
I guess.
I mean, they had a sweet little setup there. They had
maybe human meat gives them more protein or something. So
it's like a super soldier serum. You eat it and then like you're twice the human you were before.
Literally. I feel bad for making that joke.
There's a lot of cannibal jokes in this episode. I'm so sorry.
Trigger warning cannibalism?
Yeah, if that triggers you for some reason.
If that triggers you? I'm sorry.
Are you a recovering cannibal? Are we doing something here?
Yeah, okay.
If you are, please go get some help. Please.
We don't want a Hannibal situation going on here. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Or Silence of the Lamb.
Yeah, let's not have that.
That's not. Fava beans. Sorry. For those of you who don't know that, go watch Silence of the Lamb. Okay. So Jack gets back to where he tried to escape the first time and steals a knife from a young boy who runs away, but is faced off with two other villagers. Will and the rest of the crew are still running until they fall into some water, which breaks the cage. We simultaneously see the crew swimming to safety as they are being shot at with arrows, while Jack tries to defend himself from the two villagers who are throwing fruit at him. The young boy Jack stole the knife from earlier comes up to the rest of the villagers and gets them to follow him back to where Jack is, which saves the rest of the crew. Jack, who has called for a stop with the two villagers, runs towards the cliff and uses the bamboo he is tied to vault pole his way to the other side.
Yes.
But the breaking physics.
Yeah.
But the fruit that they were throwing at him that got stuck on the bamboo tilt him back over the cliff. And so he falls until the bamboo gets stuck, which unravels the rope that he is tied with, but it gets caught on his ankle.
Yeah, and instead of like ripping his hip out of socket,
yeah,
he's fine.
Yes.
And then he falls like an additional like 30 feet and is not hurt at all.
He survives this.
Yes, this is like a 600-foot mountain.
Yeah, like if we went off the physics that are being used on these characters right now, the characters that fell earlier in that cage should be alive still.
Yeah.
Like if we're gonna use the same kind of physics,
they're kind of hurt. They're gonna have some sore ribs tomorrow, but like that's
they're gonna be like night for like a minute, but then they're gonna wake up and be like, oh damn, my back kind of hurts, and then gets up and go on their way. Like So Jack is hanging there until the bamboo gets unstuck and Jack falls through multiple bridges to land on the jungle floor. He survives this.
Yep.
Will and the rest of the crew run toward the Black Pearl, where Pintel and Ragetti are still trying to get the ship into the water. Gibbs tells the crew to ready the ship, but Will says he won't leave without Jack. We then see Jack running to the ship, and the crew is relieved until they see that he is being chased by the villagers. The crew gets the ship into the water, and Jack gets to the side while the villagers yell for him to come back until they notice the dog from earlier on the beach and chase after it instead.
Yes, they left the dog to be eaten.
Yeah. Y'all messed up.
I hope they all die.
Yeah. Y'all deserve the scurvy you get.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you 100% deserve that. Once Jack is on board, Gibbs says to make to open sea. And Jack agrees, but says that they have to stay close enough to be in the shallows, which Gibbs goes to argue, but Jack sends him on his way. Will then comes up and tells Jack that Elizabeth is in danger and that he needs his compass for her freedom, but Jack doesn't care. He tells Gibbs that they need to sail upriver, and he cautiously agrees.
So,
yeah.
I'm going to need some clarification on Davy Jones's powers. Because he can seemingly go on to any ship in the ocean. Mm-hmm. Right? How does keeping to the shallows change that? Also, how does going into a river change that? The rivers are connected to the ocean. I don't see.
Maybe because technically it's not the ocean. Like,
that's a stretch, but like, okay.
What if it has to strictly be like salt water?
And then, like, I get that the Kraken can't swim up a river. Like, I get that. But like, he could go onto the ship. He even does it later. So
maybe there's like a range. Maybe there's a range.
There's a range to his magic.
Yeah.
He could only go 30 yards.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, like the Kraken, he has to be within like.
What's the length of a football field?
Right.
That's
I don't know
how far he could go.
Yeah. And then it's like maybe 2 football fields worth, like to get on somebody's ship. Like it has to be within like eyesight or something.
Yeah.
Imagine that's your only handicap for your powers.
I have to see you to use my power.
You're like super OP, but like you have to see them for it to work.
It'd be like if I was Superman and I can only fly if it was a gusty day.
Imagine. So Will says that they need to go to Port Royal instead, and Jack gives him a bargain, the compass for the key that he is looking for. Will asks if this will save Elizabeth, which Jack asks if he knows about Davy Jones. And when he answers that he doesn't, really says that it will help Elizabeth. Another ship sets sail from Port Royal, and a man on board finds a woman's dress.
Yeah,
the men on board.
Elizabeth just leaves it out.
I know. Like, girl, you're smarter than this.
I mean, it eventually becomes helpful, but at the beginning,
at the moment,
ooh.
Yeah, girl. So the men on board fight over the dress until the captain breaks it up and asks what the heck is going on. The crew tells him that a female ghost is on board who has come with them to look for her husband who was lost at sea. Elizabeth listens to this in the background, and the captain has had enough and says that it must just belong to a stowaway that they have on board, and sets the crew to find her. The crew of the Black Pearl make their way to Jack's destination while Will asks Gibbs about Jack's fear of the open ocean. Gibbs tells him of Davy Jones's tentacled beast called the Kraken, and that it is after Jack, who believes the key he is after will save him from that fate, going as far to visit Tia Dalma.
Tia Dalma is a queen.
Yeah, we stand.
I look past the fact that she is the definition of a magical Negro.
Yeah.
She is definitely a plot device. Like she has no motivations past what other characters want for her. But she's funny. And she is the backbone of this franchise.
She really is, though.
So for that, I love her.
Yeah, we stand Tia Dalma. The crew make it to Tia Dalma's house, and Jack and the crew, minus Cotton, who is watching the boat, go to meet her. Jack and Tia Dalma exchange hellos until she is distracted by Will, who says he has the smell of destiny around him. But Jack interrupts her, saying that he needs help. Jack provides payment to Tia Dalma with the undead monkey, and Will shows the key to Tia Dalma and asks where they can find it and the chest it goes to. Tia Dalma asks why Jack can't find it with his compass, and she finds that Jack doesn't know what he wants or doesn't want to claim what he does want, so the compass isn't going to work for him. Tia Dalma knows that they are seeking what is in the chest, and she tells them about Davy Jones and how he fell in love with a woman and that he put his heart in a chest to stop feeling the love he had for the woman.
So that's all I have to do to not catch feelings. Got it.
Yeah, he literally caught feelings and he's like, I ain't no simp. Just right. Like carves out his own heart.
Can't do this. Chop, chop, chop.
He's like, it's hot girl summer.
Yeah.
I'm not about to be chained down.
Yeah. Let's just lock this away for a minute.
Really though?
And go play with some ships. Like, let's build up my crew. Let's have some fun. See you in 10 years.
Right. This man really said emotions. I don't know her.
Mm-hmm. Alexa, do not play Emotions by Destiny's Child.
Or Mariah Carey or anything.
Put it on the do not listen list.
Yeah. And so Tia Dalma says that that's the key that leads to the chest, and that the key is kept on Davy Jones at all times. Will is angry with the news, but Jack placates him, and when he goes to leave, Tia Dalma asks for his hand and reveals the black spot, which frightens Gibbs. Tia Dalma goes to get something while Jack steals a black ring from her table, which we also don't see the use of yet. Right?
Yeah, it's another movie's problem.
Yeah. When she returns, she tells them that Davy Jones can't go on land except for every 10 years, so Jack will be safe on land, and gives him a jar of dirt. Jack is confused, but keeps it anyway.
That's not how land works.
Yeah, it really doesn't.
There's sand in the ocean. Like, it's not.
Yeah, there is.
Helping.
Will then asks where he will find the Flying Dutchman. Excuse me. The crew then sail to a wrecked ship in the ocean, and Will is unimpressed, being like, that's the Flying Dutchman. That can't be it. Will says he'll go over and find the key at any cost, and Jack says that if he does get captured by anybody, say that he is there to settle Jack's debt.
Will is dumb as hell.
Oh, honestly, though, there's no thought in that guy's head.
He noticed that no one else wanted to go on this ship. Right. And he's just like, I'll do it.
Right. And then he gets the cryptic, if anyone catches you, make sure you tell them this.
Yeah.
Like, he's going to an abandoned wreck ship. Like, there should be nobody out there.
Yeah, he's just like, okay, sure thing, mister. I'll do it.
You seem trustworthy.
Yeah. You've never let me down before.
Of course not. So after he leaves, Jack then gets the crew to douse the lamps, which if I was Will and I saw that, I'd be like, I'm gonna fucking die out here.
Right. I guess I'm dead.
I'm dead. I'm alive, but I'm dead. Will makes it to the Flying Dutchman and searches the wreck and finds the man alive, but he is incoherent. He then goes to help another, but finds that his face is gone.
Oh, completely gone.
Completely gone. Another ship rises from the ocean and its crew melts out from the wrecked ship. Will then fights them off, but is knocked out. The men who are alive are gathered together, and Davy Jones comes aboard. He offers the men a choice to serve him for 100 years or face judgment.
Yeah, if a walking octopus walked up to you and said, "Do you fear death?" would you not immediately think you're in hell? Because I would.
Right. Like, these men took one look at Davy Jones and they're like, that's fine.
Right.
Normal day.
A little creepy, but nothing out of the normal range of what I see.
Right. Like, if I was in a shipwreck like that, I would have thought I already died.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, So this is hell. Got
right.
it.
Right. I would have been like, I'm afraid of death. What are you talking about? I'm already dead. Like,
Right? I'm already dead.
I'm gone. I'm gone.
And then if he asked me to be on his crew, I'd be like, do I have to look like that?
Right. Like, do I get paid or like what's the compensation like?
And what did he say that the how long they had to be?
100 years.
100 years.
Yeah.
I'm like 100 years looking like that. I don't know.
Mm-mm. No thanks.
What's your health plan look like?
Right. So Davy Jones comes up to Will and demands why he is there since he isn't dead or dying, and says that he is there to settle Jack Sparrow's debt. He asks again, and when he gets the same answer, says he is tempted to take it, but transports himself and the crew to the Black Pearl through a
Teleportation?
and Jack finds Jack looking at him through a telescope. Davy Jones then demands his payment of 1 soul to his service for Captain Jack's 13 years of being a captain.
His soul for 13 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
But Jones refuses it, saying that his soul is not enough. And he brings up his soul for Will's soul is not enough. Jack says that he is there to haggle, asking what his soul costs. And when Jones says 100, he agrees and asks for Will back so he can start looking. But Jones says that he is keeping him in good faith so that he can get the other 99. It's basically insurance.
I'd be kind of flattered. My soul is worth 100.
Oh my gosh. While you thought your soul was worth 13 years on a captain ship.
Yeah. He's like, you made a bad deal, sir. Sorry.
Yeah. You really looked at that contract and said, perfect.
Yeah.
Jack says that Will is at least worth more than that, and that he is in love and betrothed to a woman, trying to pull on Jones's heartstrings. But Jones snaps out of it, guilting Jack for putting his friend on his ship before taking the black mark away and reminding him of the 3 days he has to get 99 more souls.
Why did he take the mark away?
Yeah, I don't know. I would have left it.
That didn't make sense to me. But I'm not a pirate lord. I don't know the logistics of everything.
True.
But honestly, if I gave someone 3 days to do something for me, I wouldn't take away my one way of finding them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, I understand he needs to be in eyesight. So Jack and Gibbs then agreed to get these 99 souls from Tortuga. The captain and 2 men from the ship that Elizabeth is on are discussing whether to make port at Tortuga when 2 men see a ghost fly by the captain's windows. The 3 of them see it again and go up top to see it for real, but it is actually Elizabeth puppeteering the dress around. The crew takes it as a sign of it pointing them in a direction, but when they don't get it, Elizabeth has to fly down from her spot and points to them the sign telling them to go to Tortuga. At Tortuga, Gibbs is interviewing people that want to join the crew of the Black Pearl while Jack bargains with his compass.
Let me tell you about Tortuga.
Mm-hmm.
Tortuga is the Miami of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
It's a lawless land. There's constantly drug people walking around, girls wearing controversial attire for the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's Tortuga.
That is Tortuga.
Just picture Miami, and that's Tortuga.
Yeah, like there is nobody sober.
Yeah.
On that island.
Ooh, or you can picture New Orleans during Mardi Gras.
Oh yeah.
That's also comparable.
Yes, but it's 365 all hours of the day.
Less boobs though. Less boobs.
Yeah, less boobs. So far they only have 4 people sign up until one man comes up telling them his story, and it turns out to be James Norrington, who lost his crew in the hurricane chasing Jack. James overthrows Gibbs and his table, asking if he's worthy to be on his ship, and goes to shoot Jack, but is stopped by Jack's crew, which starts a bar fight. Elizabeth walks in and joins the fight. Jack calmly finds his way out while trying on different people's hats, and Norrington is just there stealing other people's alcohol. Elizabeth and James end up back to back before she knocks him out with his bottle, ending the fight. James is then thrown into the pig's pen, and Elizabeth comes up to him and picks him up. They are being watched by Beckett's right-hand man. On the Flying Dutchman, Jones emotionally plays his organ while the rest of the crew man the ship during a storm.
Yeah, Stevie Wonder better watch out because Davy Jones is coming for his brand.
It really is, though.
There is a new piano prodigy in town. Imagine having 10 fingers to play the piano with. Amazing.
I mean, you do?
10 additional fingers, Kelly.
I'm like 10, right? 10. We have 10.
No,
I'm sorry.
I know we have 10 fingers.
Man, I don't think my brain is on right now. An order is then given to Mr. Turner, and both Will and his father go to answer the call. And when Bill notices his son lets go of the rope, which ends up with the cannon they are hauling to fall. The crew go to punish Will, but Bill stops him, saying that he'll take the punishment instead.
It was his fault.
It was his fault.
It was his fault.
Yeah. If I was Will, I would have been like, yeah, it is his fault.
It's his fault.
He let go. So I tried to save it. I'm one man. Jones comes up from where he's playing, and he comes to see the commotion, and Bill says that Will is his son. Jones then says the punishment must be taken out by Bill or the bosun on Will. Bill fights it, but ends up giving Will his 5 lashes.
Making a man whip his own child is truly evil.
Yeah.
The amount of mental anguish he just inflicted on these two people is unparalleled.
It really is, though. Like Will's father has not been in his life since, I don't know, he was a child.
God knows how long.
Exactly. And then his first encounter with him after that is him getting whipped by him.
Yeah.
Bruh.
There's not enough therapists in the world to fix that relationship.
And there's not enough time.
No. Not at all.
It's a miracle that they're like civil to one another. Like, honestly.
I just know Will has PTSD.
Honestly. And you know what? He ends up just like his dad.
Yeah.
He has a son and then leaves him on shore.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a vicious cycle. Will is then let go, and Bill follows after him and tries to reason that the bosun would have done much worse than he did, and that he should take it as a blessing, which Will obviously doesn't.
Yeah, Will's like, okay, like,
right?
Am I supposed to say thank you? Like,
right. Like, I don't know what kind of twisted thing went on in your head right then, but no thanks. So Bill then tells Will that he has to serve as 100 years on the ship or end up like Wyvern, who has become part of the ship.
Which made Will no says sense. That he has made no sense to me. I'm like, your punishment for not. First off, how can you leave? And secondly, your punishment for leaving is you just become a part of the ship.
Right.
And honestly,
like what does it? What can you do that qualifies quitting?
Yeah.
It's not like you can die.
Yeah.
So like what do you do? Like someone tells you to go do something and you like pout and you're like, I'm not gonna do it.
I don't want to do that.
And then you become part of the ship like instantly where you stand.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you just feel like a vacuum and you just go into the floorboards. And honestly,
imagine.
That man was my spirit animal. How do I sign up for that? Like, I just have to spend my 100 years sleep in like the walls. Mm-hmm. That's it.
That's it.
I'll do that.
Do it. Why not?
That's my job.
That is your job. You literally get to just sleep all day.
Yeah, I immediately show up. I'm like, hey, so when's his time over? I want this job.
Right. Like, can you tell me how long it's been? Is anyone keeping track?
Yeah.
Because I need to know.
I'm going to take a nap. You wake me up when my 100 years are over.
Right. Just, just poke me or something. It's fine.
And then you wake up in 100 years. You're like, I feel refreshed. do we have indoor plumbing yet? No. Okay, I'm gonna take another line of duty, another 100 years. We'll come back.
Right, we'll come back. Well, I'll check in.
Yeah, I'll check in. Wake me up in 50 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll do a halfway mark.
Yeah.
So Will says that he has made no oath, and Bill says that he has to get off the ship then. But Will says that he won't until he gets the key and shows him the drawing of it. Wyvern then wakes up and tells Will of the dead man's chest and to open it with the key and to stab the heart. But then he backtracks, saying that he can't stab it because the Dutchman needs a living heart, or there will be no captain to have the key. When Will asks where the key and the chest are, Wyvern just says it's hidden until he goes back to being part of the ship. Back in Tortuga, Elizabeth catches up with Jack, and when she asks where Will is, says that he is part of the Dutchman's crew. James thinks he is lying, but Jack preys on her, wanting to find Will, and gets her to set her sights on the dead man's chest to save Will and to set the destination with his compass, which she does. Back with Beckett on Port Royal, Weatherby is in cuffs and gives him an update on Elizabeth, saying that she is in Tortuga with James, and that to guarantee her safety, Weatherby sells his governorship and his influence in London to Beckett. On the Dutchman, Will and his father watch some of the crewmen playing a lying dice game where they wager their time on board, and with his little knowledge of the game, challenges Jones.
Look. Will does this thing a lot where he does something that he perceives as smart, but then someone else ends up getting punished. Like, it happens a lot. Will does this a lot.
He thinks he's being all macho and cool and smart.
Yeah. He's not. Because, like, what was he going to do if he lost?
And he was.
Yeah. He did technically lose. What was he going to do?
I don't know. Honestly.
Just spend the eternity on the ship? Unable to help Elizabeth?
Oh, yeah, huh? You wouldn't have been able to.
Yeah.
He was really banking on him finding that key.
Even if
he was really banking on it.
Even though he found the key, he couldn't do anything with the key now.
True, because then he couldn't go on. Yeah.
He's an idiot.
There are no thoughts in that guy's head.
No. Will is the dumbest person in this movie.
There's Elizabeth and then like swordsmanship, and that's it. Yeah. 2 brain cells.
That's it. Anytime he comes up with a plan, it fails.
So Will says that he will bargain his soul and an eternity of servitude for the key, which Jones accepts after showing Will where he keeps the key. If I was Jones, I wouldn't have put that key back in the original place.
No.
That I took it from. Like, why would you put it right back where... No one is smart.
No one would know where that key is.
Exactly. Like, if I showed it to somebody, I would have put it back in that spot, and then later, when I was alone, I would have moved it.
Yeah.
Y'all aren't thinking out here.
Honestly, the perfect place to keep it would have been in that man who was in the wall's mouth. Just throw it in there. Come tap him whenever you need it.
But he says he has to have it on the captain.
Okay. Whatever.
Ass crack. I have to get in these drawers to get that, bro. Come at me. So Jones accepts the bargain. But when the cups are put down, Bill joins the game against Will's wishes. They go through calling out the numbers, and when Will seems to lose the game, Bill ups the stakes and is called a liar by Jones, who gives Will the opportunity to leave the ship the next time they make port, which will be in another 10 years.
Also, how do you play this game? They were seemingly just yelling out percentages. They were just like 7 5s, 4 4s.
So it makes sense, and this is an actual dice game that used to be played back then. So depending on how many people you had like playing the game, say it was just you and me, and we had like 5 dice each.
Mm-hmm.
I have to guess how many numbers are shown on the table. So like, so say my dice numbers are like 1 through 5 and yours are like also 1 through 5. I have to say there are 2 2s. So there are 2 dice on number 2 right now. And then you would up it and say, no, there's 3 4s. And then if I up it to an obnoxious number, you can call me a liar. And then when I show I am a liar, and then you win. It's basically guessing.
That makes no sense, but okay.
It really doesn't, but that's how it goes. So Bill has to now spend eternity on the ship. When Jones leaves, Will asks why he did that, and Bill says that he did it to save his son. But Will says it wasn't about winning. He just wanted to know where the key was.
Makes no sense. But
makes no sense.
Okay.
That night, Bill helps Will get the key from Jones. Bill stands guard up on top while Will sneaks the key from Jones, almost waking him up in the process, but getting the key anyways. On top, Bill sets up a boat for Will and says that he never wanted Will to be a pirate and have the same kind of life that he did, and gives him a knife to take with him. But before leaving, Will worries about his father and says that he will not rest until his father is free, by saying he will pierce the heart of Davy Jones to set him free. On the Black Pearl, Elizabeth gives Jack the papers, and Gibbs and Jack figure out that Beckett is after the chest, and if he gets it, he will have control of the sea, which gives them more haste in their mission. Elizabeth wants her papers back, but Jack keeps them from her, saying to persuade him, but she stalks off. Beckett has been listening to this whole thing and is forming a plan in his little brain. James comes up to Elizabeth after and asks if she knows how Will ended up on the Dutchman before leaving her. And when she checks the compass again, finds that it is pointing to Jack. Will has made it onto the ship that Elizabeth was previously on and says to put enough space between him and the open sea when he sees the dress Elizabeth was wearing when he left. He asks where they got it and hears the ghost story and how it pointed them to Tortuga before he can ask more questions, a crew member says a colorless ship is after them, which concerns Will. It's Jones and the Flying Dutchman who are following them, and forces Bill to watch as he summons the Kraken to attack the ship. Up on top, Will warns the crew of the ship of the Dutchman, but no one listens. The Kraken appears and the crew tries to fight it off, but it's no use. Will survives by staying up where the sails are. I don't know the actual name for that. And when the Kraken folds the boat in half, he jumps to safety. And when he notices the Dutchman is close to him, hides on the outside of the boat. The crew saying Will must have died by being claimed by the sea, but Jones isn't sure. He then kills the rest of the crew that survives and sets sail to Isla Cruces. Back on the Pearl, Jack asks what is wrong with Elizabeth and says she should have been married by now. And he says that since he is a captain, he could technically marry them together. Elizabeth is against it, but Jack says that she'll come around eventually. Elizabeth asks why the compass doesn't work and says that when the moment arrives, he'll do the right thing like the good man she knows him to be. And when he goes to kiss her, he sees the black mark reappear on his hand again. And when land is called, goes to get his jar of dirt. Pintel and Rigetti bring Jack, Elizabeth, and James to Isla Cruces and uses the compass to find the chest and start digging for it. Jones sees them digging for it from his ship and sends his crew to go on the land for him since he can't, and calls for the ship to go down into the sea.
Yeah, this is some mythological stuff that's not making sense. How come they could be on land, but he can't?
I don't know. Maybe it was just his curse.
But they have everything else curse-wise. Or are they now on two different 10-year paths? Like they could be like they used up their 10-year pass and now Davy Jones is on like a separate pass.
I don't know. Also, like, now that I'm thinking about it, when Tia Dalma was telling the story about how he fell in love with a woman, one of the I think Rigetti was like, but I thought this legend says that he fell in love with the sea. And if he did fall in love with the sea, why didn't she just ban him from the sea?
That would have been a better curse.
That would have been a better curse.
Like if he touches the water, he starts to bleed out of his eyes or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right. Like if he goes anything other than ankle deep in water.
Yeah.
He's screwed. He just
can't even take a
seizes up
bath
and dies. Right.
Can't even take a bath. She's like, figure it out.
Right. That would have been a better curse. Like put him on a really tiny island in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then he can't go anywhere and he gets just crazy on his tiny island.
You can't even be on a boat. If you're on a boat, it will sink.
Right. Anything. So Pentel and Rigetti see the boat go under the water and go to report to Jack and the others. It's been a while and James is the only one digging for the chest when he hits something in the sand. And when they bring it up, they find a chest holding letters and another smaller chest within it with Jones's heart. Will surprises them by walking up out of seemingly nowhere.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. And Elizabeth is excited to see him, but finds that Jack was lying to her about Will.
Technically, he did not lie.
Yeah.
Technically.
If you want to get like nitpicky.
Yeah.
When
Will told him where he was.
True. She didn't ask how.
Yeah. She was like, do you know where Will is? And he was like, with Davy Jones.
Yeah, he wasn't lying.
Yeah.
Will then goes to stab the chest to go open the chest, but Jack stops him. And then James stops him, saying that he wants to give it to Beckett to regain his honor. This sets off a fight between the three of them, which Elizabeth stands and yells at them for. And Rigetti and Pentel, who went to inform them of the Dutchman, go to make off with the chest for themselves instead, and Elizabeth goes after them. While the three still fight, the Dutchman's crew shows up on shore. Jack, Will, and James takes their fight more inland and struggle for the key. The Dutchman, hearing their fight go inland, follows them. The fight comes to a standstill when Jack doesn't have his sword, and Will and James go to gang up on him, but gets James to turn on Will by bringing up Elizabeth, which gives Jack the opportunity to make off with the key. Yeah, but he falls into a nearby grave.
You have to give Jack his props.
Yeah.
Because literally he was like, what am I going to do? He was like, oh, got it. They both love this girl. He's a reason why you didn't marry her. And then just left.
He was really out here thinking on his toes. Yeah. I'm going to just say that right now. So Will and James take their fight onto a water wheel, which frees itself and rolls down. And they are still like fighting on it somehow. And gets Jack stuck in it when he's trying to get out of a grave, which makes him lose the key and knocked out by a bar in the wheel.
Looks like fun. When I was a kid, I went to some event where they put us in giant tires and like rolled us down small hills. It was fun.
Oh yeah.
So would love to do that again. Also,
I might barf if I do it now, but I'd try it again.
Right, I try it. I'll try anything.
Right, I'll give it the old college try. So Elizabeth catches up to Pentel and Rigetti, but she finds that she doesn't have a sword. They're distracted by James' will and Jack's fight on the water wheel until they find the Dutchman's crew right behind him. They run until the two drop the chest, and Elizabeth has to fight them using Rigetti's and Pintel's swords. The fight continues between Will, Jack, and James, while Elizabeth, Rigetti, and Pintel fight off the Dutchman crew. One of the Dutchman crew takes the dropped chest, while Jack gets knocked off the water wheel, and he sees the man with the chest and knocks him out with a coconut. He throws that thing really far. He's got really good.
He's got some aim.
Arm.
He's got an arm.
He does.
Mr. Tom Brady.
Let's go. Jack has time to open the chest and takes the heart when he sees the Dutchman crew. Elizabeth, Rigetti, and Pintel then pick up the empty chest. All parties then end up on the beach. Jack putting the heart in his jar of dirt, Liz fighting off the Dutchman crew, James and Will ending up on the beach and the wheel falling into the water. James goes to the boat that they came on, stealing the papers and something else, and goes to escape, but is backed up by the Dutchman crew. Rigetti and Pintel put the empty chest into the boat, but before they can get away are stopped by Will, who notices the chest has the key in it. Jack then knocks him out, and when they are surrounded, James says that he will give them an out to leave. He takes the chest and is chased by the crew while Jack and the others row the boat to safety. When James is caught, he willingly gives the chest over and is spared. Back on the Black Pearl, Will wakes up on the ship and wants to know where the chest went. Elizabeth says James took it while Jack clutches his jar of dirt. The Dutchmen then appear and Jack shows off his jar of dirt, alluding that he has Jones's heart in it, which causes them to fire at one another. Jones wanting to sink the Pearl while the Pearl tries to sail off. The Pearl has a head start while Jones fires from behind, but they are lost when Jack uses the wind against them. When the Pearl is out of range, the crew celebrates, but Jones goes to send out the Kraken. Will tries to get Jack to stop the ship, saying his father is on it, but says not to worry because he has a bargaining chip. But when the boat lurches, the jar breaks and Jack finds that the heart has been stolen from his jar of dirt. The Kraken is upon them and Will guides them on how to fight back. When the Kraken backs off, Will says that they have to get off the ship and instructs the crew to throw the gunpowder and the rum into a net at the bottom of the ship, and instructs Liz to shoot it and not to miss her shot. While this is happening, the Kraken comes to make another pass at the ship, and Jack escapes on a small boat that survived, which Liz sees. The Kraken attacks again, and Will gets the crew to haul up the gunpowder and rum. Jack watches as the Pearl is about to go down and looks to his compass. The Kraken is taking more of the crew, and Will gives Liz the all clear to shoot. They keep fighting, and Will finds himself stuck in the net. The barrels are in, and Liz sees that Will is stuck and goes to shoot, but is caught by the Kraken, but is saved by Pintel. She loses the gun and goes to go get it to shoot the barrels, but Jack gets to the gun first and shoots the barrels right as Will frees himself.
Yeah. See what happens when you let Will come up with plans. This barely worked. This barely worked. It only worked because Jack came back.
Yeah. And I feel like Jack usually gets his shit together.
Yeah.
Like his plans usually work.
Yeah.
So the explosion wounds the Kraken and it retreats. The crew who is still alive come out of the wreckage and they fear that they have angered the Kraken. And Jack says to abandon ship and escape on the longboat. As they pile into the ship, Jack looks over the ship and Liz thanks him. She points out that he came back and says that he really is a good man. She kisses him and Will sees as he helps Gibbs off the boat. Liz is still kissing Jack and she pushes him back and he finds himself chained to the mast. Liz says that it was after him and not them, and she says that she's not sorry. She then goes to join the others on the boat. When she gets on...
Sorry. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
First off, big props to the Kraken. It got mad and took a break. It went down and was like, I need to compose myself because I'm about to beat the shit out of these people. And then Miss Girl Boss Elizabeth.
Miss Girl Boss.
She was like, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna tie him to the mast of this ship so that we can get away.
She really said, I know what the problem is, and everyone else is just gonna ignore it, but I'm gonna do something about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to the root of this problem.
It's like life would be so much easier if we just got rid of Jack. And then when everybody else is like, we need to get Jack back, she's like, oh yeah, I love Jack.
Yeah. She's like, sure, I love him so much.
So much. I didn't kill him.
Of course not. Of course I want to bring him back.
Yeah, let's go get him. I'll drive.
Gets lost on purpose. When she gets on the boat, Will asks where Jack is, and she says that he stayed behind to give them a chance.
Oh my gosh, I forgot this.
What?
So when they're like getting off of the boat, what's his name? Jack's like sidekick?
Gibbs.
He's like, there's a lot of open water, but like while he's saying this, in the distance you can see an island.
There's a ton of open water.
He's like, where are we going to go? It's kind of like an Office, like,
oh yeah,
skit. Like they just like zoom in on the land. They're like, right there, sir.
Right. Or it's like Dora. It's like, where is the whatever? And it's literally like right next to her. It's like, girl,
do you see it?
Right. So Will isn't convinced that of Liz's story of Jack wanting to stay behind. But they shove off anyway. Jack tries to free himself, but notices that the Kraken is back. He pours oil on his wrist from a lamp nearby and frees himself just as the Kraken comes up to him. It throws up all over him, and he finds his hat. Then after putting on the hat, goes off to face the Kraken, and he is eaten by it. The rest of the crew in the boat watch as the Black Pearl is taken down. Jones watches from his post on the Dutchman and says that his debt is paid. He then orders the crew to open the chest. When they open it, Jones finds that it is empty and damns Jack Sparrow. Lord Beckett, back in Port Royal, is in his quarters and asks after the chest. And his right-hand man says that the ships were taken down, but a man with his papers, his pardon papers, has shown up, and it's James, and he says that he has something to trade for his freedom, and it's the heart of Davy Jones. The surviving crew make their way back to Tia Dalma's, where people are in the water holding candles, presumably to honor Jack's death. How they knew,
Why?
I don't know.
Why?
I don't know.
What did Jack ever do for them?
Don't know. The crew are all in different states of shock, and Tia Dalma offers them all drinks and comfort for each individual pain. Will brings up how bad it was that the Pearl went down, and Gibbs calls for a toast for Captain Jack. Only Will and Liz knowing exactly what happened. Will goes to ask if Liz would be willing to get back Jack, if there was a way, and Tia Dalma interrupts him asking if any of them were really willing, even going beyond the earth to get back Jack and the Pearl. Gibbs and the rest agree, saying that, and Tia Dalma says that they will need a captain who knows those haunted shores and waters. We hear footsteps and we see Captain Barbossa asking what happened to his ship. And that's where the movie ends.
How she was able to bring him back to life, who knows?
Yeah, we never know.
And why couldn't
she bring crazy.
Jack? Why couldn't she bring Jack back?
I think it's different because he's in the Kraken. Like, didn't Barbossa just like die?
Is he in the Kraken? Because in the third movie, both the Kraken and Jack are in Davy Jones' locker. Like separately. Like they weren't together.
Oh, I don't know.
So yeah, what's going on there? My girl Tia could have did
it. she can do anything. She could do anything.
She was just bored.
Yeah.
She was like, I want to get out of the house. We're going to go find him.
Right. She's like, also, I kind of liked Barbossa, so I'm just gonna like reanimate him or something. I'm just gonna
she's like, I need a friend. someone to gossip with.
Right.
Someone
I
to
need
help
someone
me
who
take care of
knows my pain. I just need somebody to talk to.
Someone needs to help me keep this damn monkey occupied.
So, I'm gonna hit you with some movie facts.
I'm ready.
So, it wouldn't be a Johnny Depp film if there wasn't help from an outside source. And you guessed it, it's Tim Burton. Yay. Tim Burton helped design some of the Flying Dutchman's crew because apparently they couldn't do it themselves.
Okay.
I don't know why they had to get Tim Burton in on it, but...
Get your bag, Tim.
Get your bag, Tim. The scene where Jack Sparrow calls Davy Jones fish face and sings, I got a jar of dirt, were unscripted and improvised.
Okay.
I can see that.
Seems on brand.
Yeah. The first Pirates movie was shot solely in the Caribbean island of St. Vincent. And then with the bigger budget for the second film, they were able to film in St. Vincent, Palos Verdes, the Bahamas, and Dominica. So at least they were on brand with filming in the actual Caribbean.
Okay, good for them.
Good for them. This movie had...
Do you say Caribbean or Caribbean?
Caribbean?
You say Caribbean.
Yeah.
Okay. I say Caribbean, but okay.
I think I say Pirates of the Caribbean, but when I'm talking about like the actual Caribbean,
the islands and stuff, you say the Caribbean.
The islands, I say the Caribbean.
Okay. I think I do too. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Yeah. So this movie had 2 fully functioning pirate ships constructed.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Because the Black Pearl.
They had the Black Pearl and the Flying Dutchman.
Because I know that the Black Pearl, like Disney has like their own like private island in like the Bahamas, and like they like put it there.
Oh, did they?
I know that, but I didn't know that the other ship was real.
Oh yeah. So yeah, the Flying Dutchman is also a real ship.
Cool.
This last movie fact kind of affects where we're going next week.
Oh, can't wait.
So, the scene right before we see Mr. Gibbs enlisting new recruits at the tavern, like when we're just seeing Tortuga, there are a bunch of men pulling a man out of a well as he slowly spits out water. And that is a recreation.
That's on the ride.
Yeah, that's a recreation of a scene in the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland.
I've been on that ride so many times because that's the ride I go on when like I need a break.
Yeah, that's a good break ride.
Like if I'm tired, like I go on the Pirates of the Caribbean.
It's like, cool.
It's a good 20 minutes.
It's dark.
Of coolness and darkness.
Right.
You just sit on there, drink a little drinky drink, lay back with the air conditioning.
Maybe get some mist on you from the water.
Yeah. Sit in the front so on the drops you get a little bit wet. Like
Yeah. See the really cool restaurant at the beginning.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
No.
Me neither. My auntie has, and she said it was really nice. I was
Would
really
love to go there, but who knows how to get reservations for that.
Right. So, iconic or not?
Oh, absolutely. The first 3 Pirates of the Caribbean movies are iconic.
Yeah, I love the first 3.
Disney was in their bag.
Mm-hmm.
We won't talk about the other 2.
I feel like this was like really peak Disney, where like every movie was a hit, even the sequels.
Yeah. Disney.
Yeah, I missed that.
You think Disney has like a chokehold on the entertainment industry now? Just go back to when like all the movies were good. That's when they had a chokehold. Yeah,
when there were original ideas for movies.
Yeah.
And not recreations.
Now it's just recreations and Marvel movies.
Like I love my Marvel. I really do. But like, can we get like a new original idea like Pirates of the Caribbean? Because that was lit.
Yeah, we need something.
Also, the music for Pirates of the Caribbean. So good. Amazing. Shout out to Hans Zimmer.
Has he ever made a bad song? No.
He always produces bops.
Yep.
We know this. So Now that we know that it's iconic, what are your recommendations for this week?
I have two. My first one, by the time you hear this, the new season will be out. Motherland Fort Salem, good show. Freeform finally made a really good show. It took a minute.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Because I swear the last good show they made before this was Pretty Little Liars. And that was like, what, 10 years ago?
Dang, he really said.
But they eventually got it together.
Yeah, they had to go through a bunch of flops.
Yeah,
to find out where they were going.
Let's see if season 2 is good. Season 1 is good. Let's see if they can keep it up. Let's see. And then my second recommendation is XO by Beyonce. I think that's my favorite Beyonce song. Love it. Just listen to it. Great song.
Yes, do it. So I have two recommendations. And I'm going to give you some early 2000s throwbacks. So first one is The Game of Love by Michelle Branch and Santana.
Oh, okay.
Such a good song. Okay. Such a good song. And Dreams by the Cranberries.
That sounds familiar.
You know the song.
I
hope you do.
Okay.
Both bops.
I'll look it up in a minute. We'll see.
Yeah. So those are my two recommendations.
Well, thank you. And thank you for listening. Don't forget to follow us on our social media. We have a Twitter and Instagram. They're both at SY2II Podcast. You can also send us an email with a movie request, or you can just tell us about the time you saw this movie in theaters.
Yeah, how your sexual awakening was both Will Turner and Elizabeth Swann at the same time.
Exactly. Or
same.
Or did you go like to the premieres when they used to do the premieres at Disneyland? Like, did you go to one of those?
Yeah.
Were you there that day that Johnny Depp?
Oh yeah, it was on the
ride.
On the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Were you there that day? Let us know.
Let us know.
Also, you can share us with your friends and family.
Please.
That'd be great. You can subscribe to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. We also have a YouTube channel where we post old episodes. I just posted The Mummy, and my next episode will be, I think it's Pride and Prejudice.
Let's go! Woo!
Yeah.
I mean, Keira Knightley's in it. Give me that.
Yeah. Okay.
He's just a hater.
I'm sorry, the movie was boring. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Spotify and Apple. Do that. And then you can rate and review us on Apple Podcasts.
Yes, please.
That'd be great. Just give us a little 5-star review.
Yeah.
In the comment, you could just put hi. I don't care.
Yeah, we just be nice.
Yeah. Also, the petroleum jelly is slowly coming to an end. So please continue to wear your mask when you're inside or if you're around a lot of people.
Yeah.
Also,
wash your damn hands.
Yes, wash your hands. I'm hearing that people are getting the flu now. So, yeah, wash your hands. And stay iconic.
Stay iconic, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.